Hey, welcome back to House of Harrison. I know it's been a minute, so we are getting into a late night brownie fix, and this is one of my favorite things to do, especially when I have a craving for something sweet. This is easy and it takes very little time. So we're going to start out with a half a stick of butter. We're going to cut that up, and then I have 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. And you want to make sure you're using unsweetened chocolate. I don't care if you want to, use the bargain brand like I'm using, or if you get something more expensive like callebaut or ghirardelli. But you want it to be unsweetened, because if you mess around and if you get the sweetened stuff, your brownies are just going to be like way too sweet. Like you may as well drink a bottle of corn syrup. Ew. So once we get all that in a bowl, we're going to pop that in the microwave for 2 minutes, and we're going to take that chocolate and butter mixture out every 30 seconds and stir it until it's well combined. While that's doing its thing, we're going to go ahead and break 2 eggs into our mixing bowl. Don't worry if you don't have a stand mixer like me. This recipe is something simple you can use with a bowl and a whisk and a spatula. Hallelujah. And then we're going to go ahead and do 1 cup of sugar, and after that, we're going to add vanilla, which is like my favorite thing in the world. So you can see I'm adding a tablespoon here, but then I'm pouring in extra, which is something I always do because I think vanilla is underrated in recipes and there should be more. Now, here is my trick for brown sugar. I love brown sugar and I use it in pretty much all of my baked goods because it just causes everything to bake up nice and, chewy and luscious. But I really hate buying brown sugar and then having it turn into a brick. I think it's a waste of money. So I just buy regular sugar and then keep molasses on deck. And then I add about a tablespoon. For this recipe, I'm keeping it kind of a light brown sugar, but usually for every cup of sugar, I add 2 tablespoons of molasses to get a dark brown sugar. So pro tip for you, and it'll save you on buying bags of brown sugar that just end up going dry. So I have my paddle attachment. I'm going to pop that on, and then we're going to go ahead and get ready to mix this together. Don't go too crazy with the mixing. You're just mixing it to bring it all together. That's it. We're not trying to beat air into this or anything because we want a nice fudgy texture. And this is our flour. We only have 1/4 cup of flour for this. And why just 1/4 cup of flour? Because this is a fudgy brownie recipe. I am not on that cakey brownie bandwagon thing. I never really understood it. I thought they were dry, and brownies just shouldn't be bouncy. They should be chewy and they should kind of melt in your mouth, kind of like, fudge, or when you don't have a truffle nearby, chocolate truffle, brownie should be the next best thing. And the best thing about it is that you can make them really quickly within an hour, when it's close to midnight and nothing else is open. So chocolate, we got the chocolate melted. Look at that. You do want to let it cool a little bit before you put it in there. It doesn't take long, maybe 20 minutes. And you can also pop it in your fridge for a sec to get it nice and cool. And we just scrape that in there. And now we're going to go ahead and get ready to blend it into our brown sugar egg mixture. Again, you do not want to beat the heck out of this because now the flour's in there. If you get to beating, you're going to create gluten, and then you're going to have chocolate bread, which is going to defeat the purpose of a chewy brownie. No. So once we have all of that combined, and I just love how shiny and beautiful it is at this point in time, we're going to add chocolate. Now, this is not something you have to do, but I just find it makes nice little fudgy pockets within the brownie that are just really, really tantalizing and amazing. I do a cup of semi-sweet chunks and a cup of milk chocolate chips, and then I'm also doing a cup of walnut baking pieces. And I know that there's controversy about adding nuts to your baked goods. I am on the side of adding nuts. I think it's fabulous. And I think that there's there are different chocolate notes that are brought out because of the walnut oil. Now, if you're allergic to nuts, obviously don't have them in there because I want you to live to enjoy your brownie experience. But if you're not allergic, I just say try it out once. And if it's still not your thing, fine. I get it. I truly understand. So I have an 8x8 metal pan. You can use a glass Pyrex pan too, lined with parchment paper. And I have a little bit of olive oil on the parchment paper as well as some sugar. Why am I using olive oil? We got a ton of butter in here, and I'm also using Greek olive oil, which kind of has like a buttery flavor to it. Not super buttery, but I actually like using it because it's easy to work with. I don't have to open up a stick of butter to go ahead and rub it all over the parchment paper. I just pour in like a tablespoon and just rub it around with clean hands, and there you go. Bada bing, bada boom, your pan is greased. And plus you're using parchment paper anyway, so it's gonna, you know, come off easy. It's not gonna stick. And you know me, I am not wasting one drop of whatever I'm making, because why? I paid for it. So I'm gonna get every single drop. I think even off camera, I'll continue to scrape until that bowl was clean. I'm telling you. All right, so we baked at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and we actually underbaked just a little bit. The normal baking time is 40 minutes. I did 37 because I want it to have its fudgy texture. It's still baked through, but sometimes with brownies, if you bake right to the minute, it gets dried out, and that's not what we want. So I did 37 minutes. Each oven's gonna be different, so start checking at 35 and go from there, but no more than 40 minutes for these. So see what happened with that parchment paper? You just lift it out of the pan, set it on your counter, and you can get to cutting. And for these, I'm going to cut them into 12 pieces. I'm going to score the edges first, and then we're just going to go ahead and cut it into squares. Got them all cut, and now my favorite part, I want to show you how fudgy these suckers are. So even in the camera, you can see the light bouncing off that chocolate. Oh my god, it's so pretty. I can't stand it. So this is me at like 11 o'clock at night getting ready to bite into one of my most favorite things ever. I'm telling you, this is like a ritual in my apartment. Yeah, so my face is just gonna tell you everything right there. It's chocolatey. It's a perfect balance of sweet and chocolate and vanilla. Ooh, and there's a little bit of sea salt, just teeny little pinch of sea salt in there too with the flour. Forgot to tell you all that, but the ingredients are gonna be in the description box below, so you know exactly how to make these. Yep, my work is done. I have some private alone time with my brownies I gotta work out, and I will see y'all later.